All right, let's talk about something huge. We're about to unpack a multi-billion-dollar market that operates kind of in the shadows of a national obsession. This is the story of Indian cricket betting. And believe me, it's a force just as powerful and unpredictable as the game itself. In India, that statement is not an exaggeration, not even a little bit. Cricket isn't just some sport you watch on a Sunday afternoon. No, it's a cultural force. It's a shared language. It's the emotional bedrock for over 1 billion people. I mean, just think about that number for a second. Over 1 billion fans. When you have passion on that kind of scale, it doesn't just stay on the field. It spills over and it creates these phenomena that are just as powerful as the game itself. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll dive into that billion-strong obsession. Then, we'll see how it just ignited into the perfect betting storm. From there, we'll have to confront the game's darker side. And finally, we'll look ahead to an unstoppable future. Okay, let's start at the very beginning, the foundation of it all. Because to really get the betting part, you first have to understand the obsession. It's the engine that makes everything else run. For millions of fans, you see, placing a little wager isn't really just about the money. It's about engagement. It changes you from just a passive viewer into an active participant. Suddenly you have a personal stake in every single ball that's bowled. It's all about feeling connected. And the level of detail people bet on is, well, it's fascinating. We're not just talking about who wins the whole match. People bet on the coin toss before the game even starts. They're betting on how many runs will be scored in the next 6 balls, or if a specific player is going to smash a 6. It's this constant, rolling wave of micro-bets that keeps the excitement at an absolute fever pitch. So you've got this incredibly deep-seated passion. What happens when modern technology comes along and basically pours gasoline on that fire? Well, that's when you get the perfect storm. This whole explosion was really triggered by 2 massive forces colliding at the exact right moment. On one side, you had technology. Smartphones and super cheap data suddenly gave millions of people a casino right in their pocket. And on the other side, entertainment. The Indian Premier League arrived, a high-stakes, primetime spectacle that was, let's be honest, practically designed for betting. So the IPL gave everyone the perfect, fast-paced product, and smartphones were the perfect delivery system. And together, wow, they dragged betting out of the shadows and put it directly into the palm of millions, from the biggest cities to the tiniest towns. But, with any unregulated boom this huge, there's always a darker side, a shadow that kind of follows the bright lights of the stadium. So now we have to explore the very real consequences that have come out of this betting frenzy. And this problem, it runs deep. I mean, match-fixing scandals have shaken Indian cricket to its absolute core. And this isn't just a few bad apples. We're talking about a whole network that at times has allegedly involved the players on the field, the bookies taking the bets, and even organized crime syndicates pulling the strings from behind the scenes. It all leads to a really critical question, right? When the integrity of the game itself is on the line, who actually ends up paying the price? Ultimately, it's the fan. The fan is the one who pays the highest price. You have this deep, just unshakable love for the game, but every time a scandal breaks, it plants this little seed of doubt. It forces you into this terrible position, wondering if that dropped catch was just a simple mistake or if it was something else. That doubt, it just eats away at the very soul of the sport. So this brings us to the massive question that's just hanging over everything. What do you do about it? And this is the debate that is raging in India today, all about the unstoppable future of cricket betting. It's no surprise that where there's this much money and this much passion, big business is going to follow. Major international betting companies are looking at India and they're seeing one of the last great untapped markets on earth. So, of course, they are actively pushing for legalization, arguing that the current system just isn't working for anyone. And you have to admit, the arguments for regulation are pretty compelling. They're logical. Proponents say it would bring transparency, it would help curb corruption, and it would generate massive tax revenue for the country. But the reality right now is the complete opposite. You have these restrictive laws that have simply pushed this enormous industry underground, creating a massive, totally uncontrolled, illegal market. This quote really just gets right to the heart of the whole issue. The legal debate is almost secondary to the cultural reality. The behavior is just so deeply ingrained that changing the law might not actually change what people do, but just where and how they do it. And really, That's the big takeaway here. You have these three incredible forces: the passion, the massive scale of the audience, and that pure, simple thrill of being part of the action. Together, they create a momentum that seems almost impossible to stop. It's like cricket in India isn't just played with a bat and ball. There's always something extra riding on every single delivery. So, we end with this thought. It's a question that goes way beyond cricket and really touches on the limits of law itself when it comes face to face with a cultural phenomenon of this size. It's a fascinating dilemma, and it's one that India is going to be grappling with for years to come.